Have you ever watched a TV show and just become so absolutely obsessed with one character's wardrobe that you need to figure out how to recreate it? Because that is what happened to me with Mabel Mora from Only Murders in the Building. Alright, hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Thanks for being here. Today I'm doing a quick 10 pattern roundup of patterns that remind me a lot of Mabel Mora, a character from Only Murders in the Building. If you're not familiar with the show, it is a Hulu original show in which Selena Gomez plays Mabel Mora, and she is friends with these two older men that live in her building, and they end up solving every season a different murder, and they start a podcast about it, and every murder happens in their building in New York City. So it's a great show. It's, I think, about 10 episodes each season, so it's usually a limited series, and it's a really good funny, sweet show that shows like intergenerational dynamics between Mabel and her late 20s, early 30s, and then the, older, like 60, 70-year-old characters as well. So it is wonderful to watch, and Mabel has just the best sense of style. She wears such good sweaters. Specifically, there's one quote from the third season. One of their neighbors, Howard, he's like a cat guy. He's very funny, and he says something about how Mabel Mora is the star investigator with a wardrobe full of cashmere or something. So it's very cute, and she's well known for her amazing outfits, and most of them are sweaters. So without further ado, let's get into some of these patterns and some other color palette inspiration to get Mabel Mora's wardrobe for ourselves. So first of all, here is kind of a little color palette I put together for Mabel. You can see that she sticks pretty, I don't know why I'm saying she's a fictional character, but the character sticks pretty well into primary colors, so the blues, the yellows, and the reds, and then adds in black and white. So it's a good cohesive look she has going. It's not a lot of colors, but she'll do different hues or tones of the colors, but she sticks as well pretty much into the like traditional range, doesn't do a ton of overly saturated or desaturated versions of the red, green, or red, yellow, and blue. It's really mostly like, this is a strong red, things like that. So she definitely has more of a primary range, but I think that it is really beautiful the way she styles it. She also typically will wear a sweater and either wear a cute little skirt with it, kind of a mini skirt. She'll wear them in plaid or argyle, or I think she has one houndstooth one, or she'll wear some nice more flared jeans or just wide leg jeans, something like that. So yeah, that's kind of her go-to looks and color palette. And now let's get into some patterns to recreate some of her sweaters. So I've got my iPad right here with what I will be talking about, in case you notice I'm looking over a lot. So the first sweater that I'm going to talk about is, here's the photo of Mabel in it, and the sweater pattern similar to it is actually directly inspired by this. So it's the Only Murders oversized sweater by Sophia He. Here is a photo. It's a pretty good recreation. So this one uses a lace weight yarn for some of the stripes, and then a bulky weight or super bulky for the other stripes. And it is a seamed garment, so be aware of that if you hate seaming. This one, honestly, you may be able to kind of recreate as well. If there's a typical raglan kind of style you really like, you could probably just, or like a typical drop shoulder, maybe a drop shoulder would be better based on the original sweater, but you could likely just, do this to any pattern that you currently have in the maybe super bulky weight. But I do really like that Sophia has put in the work to make this garment, and so if you are okay with seaming, I highly suggest just knitting the one that she has already thought up. And yeah, it's wonderful. This is like definitely one of the funkiest sweaters Mabel wears, and it's so cute. So yeah, that is the first pattern. The next pattern that I will talk about is the Sila by Jana Hietala, and I think Jana is one of the co-founders or co-owners of Lina magazine. So the inspo picture for the sweater is this of Mabel in this nice fluffy blue, like baby blue, kind of oversized sweater. I think it's so cute with the 2x2 rib as well in the neck. It could be even wider, but I think it's 2x2 rib, and then just styled with a nice pair of black leggings. So the sweater is the Sila by Jana Hietala, and here's the photo of it if I've not already put it up. It is in a bulky weight, and it is made with Borscht Alpaca by Sandnes Garn. So I want to specify the yarn they use to get that fluffy look. I believe that Borscht Alpaca is a blown yarn, so it's going to be really nice and light. You could probably use Drops Wish as well for this garment to get that nice fluffy look in that bulky weight. So this would knit up really quickly, and it's honestly a pretty close match to the pattern, or to the inspo image, so highly suggest. All right, the next sweater is what inspired this whole video. So here is a picture. Selena Gomez wears this, or Mabel wears this in the 3rd season. I forget which episode, but I gasped when I saw the sweater. I took a picture. At the time, there were no pictures like nicely done of it, so I took a picture of my TV screen to show off this sweater so I can put that picture too. But it is stunning. So it's, you know, got this, I love the red, like the very, very bright red is amazing. It's got the nice 2x2 rib neck, and then these cables that just kind of grow out. So it's a circular yoke with slowly growing cables. So to represent the sweater, there's a lot. I've made a Ravelry bundle, but I will recommend the Fika sweater by Sari Nordlund. I think that this is the closest one I've found. The neckline is very similar, as well as that cable detail. And it is in a worsted weight, and it is knit in the round. I think it's the cannot say it, but Purpurea jumper. I do not have the name of the designer in front of me, but it is on the bundle, and I'll have it up here as well. Is also very similar. But yeah, I love the growing cables like that. I think that it's stunning, and I think that in the future I will want to make something like this. So yeah. The next jumper, or I don't know why I'm saying jumper like I'm European, but the next sweater that I will talk about is Selena Gomez wears a lot, honestly, of just turtlenecks, like knit turtlenecks, usually with 2x2 rib details. So I'll have a couple of pictures of her in those turtlenecks in different shades. And to get this look, I recommend knitting the Sugar Plum jumper by Fable Knitwear, which is knit in a bulky weight. So it would knit up really quickly. It's kind of a nice cropped look too, and it just looks so cozy and definitely fits the vibe of Selena Gomez. The sample color too, in this like kind of deep red, it might be maybe too deep of a red for what the other things Mabel wears, but it definitely has some of those vibes too. So, or some of the vibes of Mabel's existing color palette as well. So it's great. It's a great knit. All right, the next one is this inspo image. It's this nice, fluffy, kind of oversized cardigan with no buttons. It looks like there is a simple button band, but it's very thin, maybe a double knit. And the sleeves look like they just finish with kind of no rib. It just is like a nice clean finish, or maybe there's the tiniest bit of rib. So very minimal finishings, pretty minimal garment as well, but it's this really nice fluffy light blue. So I recommend the Kim cardigan by Tanya Koenigs for this. Here is the picture of it. I think it has a very similar fit. It's almost like a kimono. I think it also has the very nice minimal finishings. This one I think is a little bit more, the sleeves don't go as long, but you could easily lengthen the sleeves if you wanted more sleeve. Although I think it's an interesting construction. It kind of looks like, and I'm not sure, I've not bought the pattern, but it looks like instead of knitting it top down, it's almost knit side to side. I'm not 100% on that, but looking at the stitch direction. So it would take some forethought to lengthen the sleeves, but I think if you wanted to more closely mirror the garment worn by Mabel, you could definitely lengthen them and make just a really nice, simple, fluffy garment. And if I didn't already say, it is knit in a lace weight, specifically a strand of mohair. I think you could hold it double if you wanted slightly more fluff. But yeah, it's a great pattern. All right, the next pattern or thing I will recommend is based on this photo of Mabel. I think this is also from season 3, and I spent a few weeks trying to figure out how to recreate, actually I have my swatch, recreate the sweater. Here's my swatch of it. Before I realized that there was a really nice pattern that already existed, that while not a perfect match, the neckline is different, and the sleeves, like the version worn by Mabel has a lot more of a puff sleeve and more of a like cowl neck, but this version has very similar cabling, and I do really like it as well, and it is the Seaway Pullover by Ozetta. Here you go. I think that I will be casting this on sometime in January or February, depending on my other knits. So it is stunning. It is knit in a, I forgot to write this one down, but I believe it is a DK weight. I will put it up on the screen if it is not, but I'm pretty sure it is knit in a nice DK. All right, we are going through this very quickly. I'm proud of me. I never do videos quickly. All right, the next jumper again, who do I think I am? The next sweater that I will recommend is based on a few things that Mabel wears in the show, so I'll have a couple pictures up of just kind of either fisherman's rib or brioche sweaters. They're always like at a pretty tight gauge, and so they're pretty minimal when you're looking at them from far away, but you can definitely tell it's more textured than just a 1x1 or broken rib. So I think that it is either brioche or fisherman's. And she wears a few of these throughout. I really love this black one too because it's got some interesting kind of construction with the cool rib. It's just like a lot of directions going on. It's almost like cables, but it's just the way that the sweater was constructed has ribbing or brioche going in different directions throughout. But the point is, very many simple-ish fisherman's brioche sweaters, and so I am recommending the Lista Pod by Veta Romanekova to get this look. Here is a little picture of it. I really like that it's very subtle to see in the photos, but there's some really nice shaping on the sleeves in which the brioche kind of goes together. So this one is knit in half brioche specifically, and it is also a seamed garment, I should say. But yeah, it's got this really nice way that the brioche meets at the end, so you get some of that kind of directionality that the second black sweater that Mabel that I showed you was wearing. It's also knit in lace to fingering, so it would take a long time. The pattern said lace, but I'm wondering if you hold it double to get fingering. I couldn't get full clarity from the Ravelry description, but it is a really stunning garment. I think that, you know, you could crop it a little if you wanted more of a Mabel look, maybe go oversized and cropped. But yeah, it's so cool to see these, and the neckline's really nice too. It's more of like a fold over neck, so you could probably change that a little bit if you wanted to just do like a double folded collar or something, but Mabel also wears a lot of turtlenecks, so whatever you wanted. It's a stunning garment. All right, we're going very quickly. The next thing that I will talk about is a lot of the skirts that Mabel wears throughout the show. So here's one image from kind of one of the most iconic episodes. So she wears a lot of kind of plaid or just traditional print mini skirts. Some of them have different features of them. Some of them are like longer on one side and kind of asymmetric. Some of them have multiple patterns going on within them, but I chose this one to kind of show the most classic one that she'll wear. And so, you know, it's a nice plaid print and a mini skirt, And so to kind of get that look, I'm recommending the Serious Skirt by Carissa. So of course this one is knit in houndstooth, not plaid, but very similar kind of classic look. And the shape I think is really, really nice, and matches the shape of the ones worn by Mabel very well. It is knit up in a sport weight, and yeah, it's beautiful. I think that maybe one day I will be brave enough to knit a skirt, but I'm just scared about the wearability of a knitted skirt in my life. But this one is really stunning. I really like too how the designer styled the skirt with just a simple green turtleneck. I think that also kind of looks the way Mabel would wear it. So yeah, here we go. All right, we're nearing the end already. The next pattern, or the next inspo first, that I will talk about is this cardigan worn by Mabel. I've seen a couple people show exactly where you can buy the cardigan, but of course we over here don't want to buy a knitwear piece if we could maybe make it. And so I could not find the perfect match for this cardigan, but I think that the Heirloom Quilt cardigan by Katrin Seeberger is just really stunning and kind of has a similar vibe of the different patchwork, with like a lot going on within them. I think too you could kind of make some of the patches similar colors if you wanted to try to like lengthen the motif, to get more of the asymmetric vibe, but it's also a very similar cut and fit. And it is so stunning. I know that this garment kind of took everyone by storm a few months ago, but in case you have not seen it before, it is a DK weight pattern and it is seamed. So you do have to seam all of the pieces together. So, you know, you might, well, all of the like quilt motifs, and then you knit the sleeves and the round, and you pick up for the button band and knit that, and the hem as well. So be prepared if you hate seaming, maybe skip this one, but it is really stunning, and I think that it is something that Mabel would definitely wear, if not, you know, exactly mirrored in the show. All right, and this is the last one that I will recommend for today. It is based on this inspiration image of Mabel wearing just a super oversized gray cardigan. I believe that this is from this first season, and you can see that she's wearing it over, it looks like pajamas, so she's almost treating this as a robe, but it's clearly, you can see it's got no ties. It is a cardigan, and it's so good. I would love to knit myself a big huge cardigan like that. So I am recommending the Grayling cardigan by Magdalena Parker to get a similar look to this. Of course, this one is a little bit more detailed. It's got the huge cables on it, and it does have more of a cuff, so it's not quite as oversized at the sleeves. But it is so good. This has been on my queue for a long time. The Grayling cardigan, I think it's just amazing. It's knit at a bulky weight, so even though it is a nearly floor length cardigan, you know, at least it's gonna go quicker than some of the other floor length cardigans that I've seen that are just, you know, huge, and knit at tiny gauges. So I highly recommend this cardigan. I was also thinking too of the Sand cardigan, which it's not on Ravelry yet, but I will have a picture here. It's by Ulin Knitwear, and it is also a really nice big oversized cardigan, with some really nice finishings. So this could also get a similar look, but it is, I think that it's at an Aran weight, so it's still not horrible, for, you know, it'll go quicker than, again, other garments that are maybe at a DK or fingering weight, but you know, the bulky will make it go a little bit quicker. And I just love the big cables. I am a big fan of cabling to help something go quicker, because it's kind of that popcorn or potato chippy knitting where you're like, I just got to get to the next piece. So yeah, all right, gosh, this is probably going to be the shortest video I've ever filmed. Those are my recommendations to get the look of Mabel Mora. I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know if you've watched the show before or if you are now interested. And let me know too if there's any other sweaters that Mabel wears that you wish I'd featured. And maybe we can help each other find even some more project inspo from Mabel. I do have a Ravelry bundle based on Mabel Mora's outfits and kind of vibe that I will link down below as well. So I think there's about 50 patterns on there, so there's definitely more than I just discussed today, so please check that out as well if you're interested in looking further. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Thank you all for watching, and I hope that you are having a great day, week, month, life. All right, bye.